Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and today I thought we'd just have a quick look at a piece of test kit that I use. I use this quite often, and it's something I knocked up myself. What we've got here is basically it's a general purpose component analyzer. And now I do have something else that basically does a similar job to this up at my other workshop, and it's a Peak Atlas component analyzer, and it cost me over £100. This is based on a board you can get from Chinese suppliers, and I think the board cost me, it wasn't much more than 10 quid delivered. And as well as me to test inductors and capacitors and resistors like the Peak Atlas one that I have up at my workshop does, this can test transistors. It can test virtually anything you throw at it: diodes, transistors, resistors, capacitors. And I thought I'd just show you a quick look inside it today, because I've been doing a little bit of work on this today. I built it a few years ago, but I've used it for a while, and I thought it could have another feature fitted to it, so that's what I've just done today. I'll show you inside and what you have inside it. Alright, here we go. Now, forgive the poor quality of this image, but basically the heart of it is this board here. Now I can't take it out because I've got it all soldered in. But that's what you get from China, is basically that little board there, and the LCD on the liquid crystal display on the front. It's all based on a 18 mega little 8-bit microprocessor. That's what you can see there. That does all the sampling, that drives the LCD, everything. I can't remember right off the top of my head what it is. 18 mega 8L or something like that. It's really low powered, but it's not doing very much, to be honest. So that's what you get off from China, off eBay. Like I said, it cost me it was about 10 quid, 12 quid at the most. But the only thing with it is you just get a bare board with a PP3 snap connector on it, and underneath that, I don't know if you can see it, you just have a little bit of a pin header that you stick components in. And I wanted something a bit more substantial, so I found this little plastic box. I had these connectors lying around in my junk box. I had that switch lying around in my junk box, and that proper PP3 battery holder lying around in my junk box. So I knocked this up to make it a little bit more robust, and I've used it like that for a while. And what I did today is I've added a little piezoelectric buzzer. It's actually a 12 volt buzzer, but it runs quite happily off 9 volts. And I found a couple more of them little sockets there, and I fitted them to it. So as well as now being able to analyse components, I can use it as a quick little continuity checker. And if you look, I'll just grab the probes out of my main bench multi-tester. And this is the problem with my main bench multi-tester, and the reason I've done this. It's a fantastic little data precision bench multi-tester. It's very accurate. It can measure current up to about I think it's 10 amps or something like that. It's very accurate on the resistance ranges, but it doesn't have any kind of continuity buzzer on it, which means if you're circuit tracing with it, you're constantly looking at the screen, and it's much nicer to have a visual audio indication that the trace you're looking at is good. So what I've done is I've incorporated that into this little unit today. So now if I touch my probes together, there we go. And that's a nice, it's not too loud. I went through a load of buzzers I had actually, until I found one that I like the sound of. So that's what I've just done to it today. Like I said, I've added that. I've not even put a switch in that circuit. It doesn't need one, because when your probes are disconnected, it can't run the battery down, and it's running off the same 9 volt battery as the little analyzer. I'll just put them away with my rest of my test leads. Right. So how does it work? Well, you have the 1, 2 and 3 there, and you can take literally any component you want. This is probably the most manky transistor you've ever seen in your life. I just fished that out of a junk box. I think it's even got wet, it's all torn. I had to scrape the leads off it to even get contact on it. But just take a component. Like I said, we've got a random transistor here. All you do, connect one of the 3. It doesn't matter which way around you connect these leads. This is the brilliant thing about this tester. So there we go. We've got the transistor in the circuit like that. Now I'll pop that down there, make sure the leads don't touch, and all you do, now I don't think the display is going to show up very well on this camera, but I'll read out what it says. You press the button and then straight away it tells me it's a PNP transistor. It tells me that the base is on pin 2, so the white wire there is the base. Oops, it's gone off. It does run off, this thing. It's to save the battery, it only runs for about 10 seconds. So we know base is on 2, we know the collector's on 3, we know the emitter's on 1, we know the HFE of the transistor is, well, it said 49 or 50, and we know that the UF of the transistor is 274 millivolts. So yeah, like I said, it'll tell you what the part is. It will if the transistor shows up as a diode, you obviously know that the transistor's no good. It's only conducting halfway. Some components it will just come up component failed. Let's see what else we've got to. Here we go. Here's a good one. Just got that's a 1.3k resistor, 5% tolerance. It doesn't matter which of the 3 we connect this to. We can just connect it to the component analyzer like that, switch on, and straight away it tells me that that is a 1300 ohm resistor, so that's a 1.3 kilo ohm resistor. Now, accuracy wise, I have actually tested this and compared it with my Peak Atlas one, and I was really surprised. Certainly isn't quite as accurate as my Peak Atlas analyzer, but I'm surprised how accurate it is. It's very close. Let's have another. Oh, we've got a little electrolytic capacitor here. What is it? It's a 1 UF electrolytic capacitor. So let's see what this makes of it. It doesn't matter which way around you go, even though this is a polarized capacitor, the meter will detect. And there we go. It tells us straight away that it's a 892 nanofarad. Now it's a 1 UF capacitor, so that's pretty damn close. So these are a really, let's see what else we've got. Have we got anything else we can test here? There's an LED here. I haven't even tested an LED in it. Let's see what an LED does. This should just show up as a diode. So let's try that. Test is running, and yes, it tells us it's a diode. It tells us that the anode is on lead number 2, and it tells us the cathode is on lead number 1. So, like I said, it is a really useful tool, and anyone that's in this hobby who likes repairing old computers, just messing about building things, it's really good to get one of these. Like I said, buy the board, don't spend tons of money on it. You can buy these completed, something similar to this off eBay, and they're about 40 quid or so. Inside them, it's exactly the same board. You're just paying for the plastics. Now, if you're a bit handy, you've got things lying around. Even this isn't new. It's something I salvaged. I can't remember what that was from. I think it was part of a show relay system out of a theatre. I think it used to have some LEDs on here, and it used to flash up when people were on call and stuff like that. So I've just repurposed it, and like I said, the connectors I got out of one of my many multi-buy junk bins. Where I buy up big stocks of components going dirt cheap, so they cost me virtually nothing. Same with the connectors. The switch is one out of one of my junk boxes. So's the buzzer. So's the battery snap connector. So the only thing I've actually paid for on this is the display. So you can say this thing cost me not much more than a tenner, and you can see how useful something like this is. So I thoroughly recommend, go on eBay, just have a look for transistor tester PCB. Just search for something like that. You'll find a board like this. Like I said, they don't just test transistors, they will test any component you really want to throw at them. And for the money, you can't really complain. So I thought I'd just do a quick video on it anyway and show you what type of things that I use, and they don't cost you a lot of money. So I'll leave it at that. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.